Okay, Mohammed, let's see how you did here. Okay, so the title, Common Childhood Infectious Diseases. Okay, I'm not sure if that's the best title. Remember who you're writing to and why you're writing to them, okay? You should have something about the measles, chickenpox, and scarlet fever. Okay, as you know, the immune system of children are in a developing phase, so they're susceptible to infectious diseases. Okay, good. Chickenpox, measles, chickenpox. Okay, you got a spelling mistake here, brother. So this is one of the main words in the thing. So you definitely would lose marks for making a silly spelling mistake like that. Okay. Scarlet fever are the most common childhood infectious disease in Mon. They have common signs, which are, okay, again, spelling mistake, difficult to distinguish. In order to help you to distinguish between them, it is necessary to compare and contrast them in the site and appearance of rash as well as duration of rash. Okay, that's excellent, okay? That's really good. Okay, you've identified with 3 areas that you're going to talk about. One area that's not mentioned that I'm guessing you're going to talk about is if they're itchy. Okay, also you might want to improve on this, Mohammed. I would add something about the nurses. Yeah, that as nurses going around to houses, you need to know this skill. So that's one area that I would say, then that would make your introduction paragraph very good, okay? The site and appearance of the rash, measles, chickenpox, and scarlet fever are obvious signs which may help you to, okay, again, spelling mistake, between these diseases. Okay, this is very wordy. I think you could say this much briefer, yeah? After 3 or 4 days of getting a child measles? I'm sorry, I don't understand what you're trying to say here. After 3 or 4 days of the child getting measles, I think there's a word order problem here. You can notice red spots appearing behind the ears and forehead of the child. Then red spots start spreading down the neck, arms, trunk, legs. The child with measles also does not feel itchy. Okay. Okay, so now you're mentioning the itchy part, but you were really talking about the appearance here. Yeah? You said you were going to talk about the appearance of rash, and now you're talking about itchy. So you said you're going to talk about apples, and actually you're talking about oranges here, yeah? Okay, in contrast, the rash of chickenpox appears as blisters surrounded by a halo of redness. These blisters start appearing on the trunk. Okay, so this is the location now. So you're mixing your paragraphs here between appearance and then the location, yeah? Okay, the blisters spread. The blisters spread on the mucous membranes and palms and hands and soles of feet. In addition, the child suffers from itchy due to the blisters. Okay, so you already talked about. Also does not feel itchy. Okay, sorry. And chickenpox does feel itchy. Okay, good. In addition, the child suffers from itchy due to, okay, feels itchy. They don't suffer from itchy. Okay, that's a grammar mistake there. However, if you notice a sandpaper-like rash of 1 to 2 millimeter bumps, he or she may have scarlet fever. The rash of scarlet fever usually begins at the neck and then spreads to the trunk. The child with scarlet fever sometimes feels itchy. Okay, good. Okay, so you've talked about the appearance and how it changes, and you've also mentioned the itchy, so I think your topic sentence for your first paragraph should incorporate that, okay? How itchy they feel, okay? Duration of rash is a clear sign which may help you to distinguish between chickenpox and scarlet fever. The rash of chickenpox appears 1 to 3 weeks, however, the rash of scarlet fever remains 4 to 5 days. Okay, good. In conclusion, this handout provides you with some important information about measles, chickenpox, and scarlet fever: location, appearance, and duration. Okay, again, you didn't mention. Okay, so again, you didn't mention the nurses, and you didn't mention if these are itchy. You've really talked about location and appearance together, and not so much the duration as a separate paragraph. So if you're going to separate these ideas, you need to show them in separate paragraphs. I think it's difficult with the appearance and the location because they were mixed together in the original text. Okay, pretty good, I would say. Okay, you could definitely improve on the conclusion and introduction a little bit, mentioning the nurses. You could also work on your spelling for sure. And the other thing is make sure that when you're talking about something in a paragraph that you put them all together, all the same ideas together. So if you're going to talk about oranges, and you tell us in the topic sentence, I'm going to talk about oranges, only talk about oranges. You can't mix in other fruit there. Okay? In this case, you're changing it. You said you're only going to talk about the appearance, and then you talked about location and itchiness. So you would lose some organizational marks there. Okay, good job though. Much better than the first effort.